Hey everyone, Steve, space, down here. Today is going to be a tutorial on using the programming language Scratch. Today we're using the offline editor, but you can use the online editor. The processes are all the same. So create a new Scratch project. Let's title this Hello World for now. So we've got Scratchy over here, property of the Minnesota Institution of Technology. Well, former property. Currently it's under the control of the General Scratch Foundation. Now, today we need to get a little bit of UI done first. So, over on the left, if you've never used Scratch before, this is the block palette. You pull out code that you want to use here. For example, let's create a Hello World program. When green flag clicked, Hello World. And now he'll say it for 2 seconds. Now this is the code area. Finally, this is the sprite and stage. Now we can start working on it. So first of all, in order to delete a sprite, you want to click the X button in the top right of them. To create a new sprite, you want to click this button. You can choose a sprite. You can choose any sprite in the library that you like. For this one, I'm thinking that we're going to draw our own though. You can upload a sprite from your hard drive, which I'm not going to do personally, because I don't really have any images on it. You can select a surprise sprite. It'll pick a randomized sprite. Let's delete all of these though. And we want to paint a sprite. Now, we aren't actually going to create anything. The reason why is because of the fact that the way Scratch projects load, they always load up the assets in the first sprite. For example, they might load up. For example, let's say I have when green flag clicked, turn right 15 degrees forever. Say hello. Next costume. Well, this code is immediately rendered upon the project loading. This isn't too bad as I'm using the offline editor and I've got a pretty decent computer. But if you're using it online, you want to make this a blank sprite. No code inside. Many people use this for comments. So let's say something. I know, I'm so original. So let's create an actual game, shall we? Now what I say we do is we create a Pong game. Now, yes, this is totally original. If you're a PC user like me, hold down the Shift key to get a perfect circle. Set it to your desired size. Now set it to 0, 0. Now we want to take the size of the sprite, make it smaller. There we go. Perfect size. Now we want to paint a new costume. Let's call this... You know what? I say we call this Paddle. To see. He's a moderator on the Scratch website. And in order to honor him, I say we all hail Paddle to sea! Now, this is what we like. Now, this paint editor is really special, as it comes with a vector mode and a bitmap mode. Vector images are basically a bunch of complex math code, which is used to decide how an image is drawn. So here's Paddle to see in vector. Here he is in bitmap. As I imported a bitmap image, it's a lot clearer in bitmap than it is in vector. However, that shouldn't be too bad for our purposes. You can click and drag its sprite while in that attempt to move it. Then we head over to motion, and we want to grab a go-to block. Let's set this to 0. When green flag clicked, go to 0, negative 145. Now this, well, let's set it to the sun. Green flag clicked, go to this position. You'll see that the go-to block automatically changes. The one in the palette automatically changes to the sprite's current position. So we want to now we want to go down to forever loop. We want to stop all. Now a forever loop special. So here's a forever loop in Python. You don't really have to worry about this yet, but it's nice to know in advance. So now we want to click off. The stop sign stops everything. Now there's no way to stop it from doing that, but there is a way to make things continue after the stop sign. But we won't worry about that just yet. So now we want to grab a go to Y. So set Y to. Now down in sensing there's a special block, mouse Y. You want your accesses, kids. So we want to set X to mouse X. Now we'll see that as we move the character, as we move this, it will never move. Now, this isn't much fun, is it? Bunk. Yeah, no, I get to decide whether or not I win all the time. Well, fear not. As you see, we can do a very similar thing over here. Forever, F on edge, bounce. This uses some complex trigonometry so that then, boom, bounces. But we can't really have a move unless we bring it in with change x by. Right? Wrong. It only changes the x position, meaning it would constantly be going that way. Instead, we want to do the move block. The move block does some complex trigonometry. There we go. Now look at that. Now, this isn't very much fun now, is it? Well, hey, I know what to do. We want to bring in a conditional. If then else. If x then. X is a boolean, meaning it will return true or false. If touching L to C. Then we want to do something. What we want to do is we want to turn right 90 degrees. Well, not 90, 180. Scratchies. One circle is 360 degrees. As such, half a circle is 180 degrees. As such, as soon as this ball touches the paddle, boom. Now, this isn't very much fun now, is it? As it's constantly on a predefined path. So, should we fix that? Now, we could set it to a random position every time it starts, but that's not fun. At least not so. So, we want to make the same code, except we want to go to a random position. Hey, look at that. That's fun, right? Right? Now, oh man. It's colliding with us, right? Well, don't worry. We've got a fix for this. So, you want to repeat until not touching pal to C. Now, how do we do a not? We can use the not statement, which is right here. But there's an even better way we can do it. It involves some science. So, a boolean, you remember how I said a boolean will either return 1 or a 0, right? So, Repeat until touching pal to C equals 0. A 1 on a balloon means it's true, while a 0 means it's false. As such, if touching pal to C, then it'll keep on going. As such, we want to point in direction 0. Then move 1 step. Now we want to run this code before checking. Now we want to run this code immediately after colliding. Now Scratch uses what's called an interpreter. This means that the code can run in real time based off of the most recent changes. Now, this versus a compiled language such as TurboWarp, which is a Scratch modification made to make Scratch projects run super fast. Now, we need to fix something, right? Yeah. So you see, as soon as it collides, it'll go in the same direction. Fear not. You want to delete the default variable and create a new variable for this point only. Check. Set check to direction as soon as we start. Now, gee, this is getting a lot to check, right? Well, don't worry. I got a tool for you. So, make a new block. Collide. So, collide. Now we want to point in direction check. At the end of this code, under variables. Now let's see if this works. Oh man. Oh hey, look, they're there. Now that's fun, right? Now hey, we can make this even more fun. So click the stop sign. So you see, this is the equivalent of a for loop in other languages. It repeats 10 times by default. You can change the number here to whatever you want. In this case, it'll run approximately 4 billion times, I believe. No, we don't want that. That would be silly. Boom. Now, oh no! How are we gonna do this? Now that's the issue. Scratch limits itself to 300 variables due to being interpreted. Now hey, this isn't very much fun yet, is it? Don't worry. Let's run check through collide. Hey, now collisions are much better, right? But one final thing. Run without screen refresh. This will run the code immediately, without having to wait. So let's get hit by one of these. Boom! Ain't that fun? Now, what if we aren't touching pal to C? What do we see? We want to take this and put it in its own custom block yet again. Let's name it paddle. So we want to run collide. Now let's check to make sure this works properly. It does. Now, you'll probably get to this awkward moment in which it'll all just jumble together, right? Well, there's a way to... Well, let's fix that. Now, this time, it's a challenge for you. Now, you recreate this. And then you add in a score system. Using what I've taught you about variables. And then go publish it to Scratch. Comment it down below. And I'll pick out a random selection to feature in the next Scratch tutorial. Finally,